Hello there, I am Susanna. Nice to meet you. And I'm about to share about Vibe, a gig economy option. As you know, the gig economy is growing rapidly. This is the disclaimer. I'm not going to read it to you. It is the last slide, so you could take your time then to read it. But in the meantime, I'm going to go through the presentation with you. As you know, the world has changed right before our eyes, and you've seen this, maybe not with you yourself, depending on what phase in life you're at, but a lot of adults, a lot of us in our careers have changed careers at least 5 times, which is a lot. It never used to be that way, but it definitely is that way today. The reason I think that happens is that when we are employees, we feel that we are undervalued, we're overworked, we're underpaid, and so that leads to looking for other opportunities and a career change, hence the average being 5. And then as we get older, we get aged out or phased out or forced into retirement when we are not financially ready or not mentally ready, which is also not a great scenario. So the gig economy is growing rapidly, and this is the young generation, it totally gets it. They're working smarter, they're getting more done. The opportunity that I'm presenting about today is Vibe, which is app-based, and it creates a new and bigger opportunities for anybody willing to or wanting to create either a side hustle, as we call it, or another gig for them, or another passive or active revenue stream, additional to what you have already going on. And it could definitely also replace it. Why do most people never get ahead of the money curve? That's such a great question. I believe most of this is because, one, our education system in North America does not really teach us about money. Second, we are groomed from the day we go to school, attend post-secondary, and find a great job. That leaves you always on the left side of the money curve, which means your income is capped because you're either an employee or you are self-employed, but your earnings are directly tied to what you do. So you're the employee and you're the boss at the same time. So when is it time for you to take control of all of this? That is completely up to you. So right now, most people are in the E quadrant, which is the employee. You have a job, you go to work, and somebody pays you to do a job, and they're earning more money than it costs them to pay you. So they're earning money on your efforts, which is what an employee position is. The self-employed, you own your own job. If you're not working, you're not earning. So you still can't have full financial freedom. Yes, you can choose to take time off. Yes, you can choose to not show up, but it also affects your income directly. Now, that's the wrong side or the left side of the money curve if you would like financial freedom. You want to create your financial freedom. You need to jump to the right side of the curve. So that would be in the business owner side, and that would be owning your own system. Or you have enough money invested that your money works for you. That's your investor quadrant. This quadrant should feel familiar to you if you've read Robert Kiyosaki's books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He talks about that and explains it very well in there. So if you're unfamiliar about this, at least read the overview or the summary of his book. This will explain it quite well for you. So if you're currently an employee, your boss controls your time and your money. And if you want time off, you need to request it. And you can do it with time off being paid or without paid, depending on what type of employee you are. If you're currently here as a self-employed person, customers control your time and money. It's not necessarily you, because if you have a deadline, you still can't take off time. It's just how it is. Where you may want to be, where most of us would like to be, is a business owner where we are controlling our own time and our money. Now, this comes with some work, of course, and honestly, it's not a ton more work or even really any more work if you were an employee or a self-employed person. So Yes, it takes time to get going, to get that freedom, but once you have it, you have it. You're still putting in the same amount of hours, maybe a little more at the beginning, but you know there's going to be a payoff in the end for that. So if you are in active effort, you're spending a lot of time on the wrong side of the money curve, on the employee or the self-employed side, then you may want to think about taking control of that to bring you financial freedom and to bring you time freedom, which is, in my opinion, a lot more important. So for the passive effort, so using your time and your money in a leveraged way, you need to be on the B&I side. The B side is your business. So you're using you're leveraging other people to earn money, or you're leveraging other things to earn money. And on the I side, you're leveraging your capital, your liquid cash in investments, let's say, and that is bringing you a income. So that would be also passive income. You're not actively doing anything to earn that money. That's why it's passive. To get to the B quadrant, do what you're already doing. There's no boss, there's no degree, there's no experience required, and others work for you. This is the Vibe rides. It gains you that leverage. Let me explain that a little bit better. So in the drive share industry, the timing is just right. There's 98 million rideshare passengers and there's 5.3 million drivers, and it is growing. As you see, the number of drivers versus passengers, there's a huge gap. So for Vibe, what this does, it allows you as a driver for Vibe, which was one option, is to drive people. You could drive products, and you can drive services. So those are three things that you could be driving if you wanted active gig economy revenue stream, meaning you want to drive. So that's one option, but you can move up from there as well. So I'm going to explain that to you now. There's three ways to Vibe. You can ride as a rider, you can drive as a driver, and you can be in overdrive. And overdrive would be the business owner. Drive would be the active income. As a rider, you are paying for a service, and 70 to 75% of that ride that you've just paid for goes to the driver of any rideshare company. It doesn't matter which one. And then the remainder either goes to shareholders, like it does for Lyft and for Uber, or if you are a Vibe rider, then the other remaining percent goes to the person that got them into the business, and I believe it's 12 or 18% goes to the company, so that the company can stay healthy and, of course, support all of its drivers and business owners. As why Vibe is different? Well, the app itself is different. It offers some more features that other rideshare companies don't offer. So you can list what you'd like, the temperature, what you'd like to talk about, if you don't want to talk, etc., what kind of music you like, and the one that is big for a lot of female riders is the girl power. So for the additional safety, the girl power is, if you, let's say you would prefer a female driver, then you would set that in the app, and only female drivers will get the alert that you need a ride. So they'll come and get you. There's another safety alert feature that you could also, there's a safety alert feature, and also there's route tracking. And also it's just your first name only, so that nobody knows your last name. With rewards, though, you get loyalty and user benefits, and you share the Vibe, and you get paid and travel exclusives. So Vibe is the next generation in drive share. So there's three ways to earn. If you're in the D3 position, which is the overdrive position, you're earning when you drive. If you choose to drive, you're earning when others drive that you have introduced to Vibe. And you're earning when customers ride that you have shared your code with or showed them the app. So there's three ways to earn. What other company offers that? I know for sure Uber does not. Lyft, not sure, but I doubt it. I used to be an Uber driver. I know they paid me nothing to find customers or other drivers. So when you drive, you are self-employed. So if you're not driving, you're not earning. And if that's all you're doing, that's okay. If that's all you want to do, that is okay too. It's not for everybody to have a business or want a business, and that's totally cool. To get a driver, to become a driver, you need to be invited, and a boomerang will need to be sent to you so that you can get that going. If you want to be an active driver, let me know. I'll send you the boomerang. So for active income, when you're driving, you're earning 75% of the distance time charges for after your first 50 rides. So for your first 50 rides, you're earning 70%. After your first 50 rides in the month, you're earning 75%. This is excluding the Vibes per ride fee and any other taxes and tolls, etc. For example, how to earn $5,000 a month driving for Vibe. It's averages out about $250 a day, which is 20 days of driving, averaging of 17 riders per day at $15 per ride. This excludes the Vibe rides fees and tolls and taxes, and of course, but it's doable. If you are in overdrive and you are ready to embark on that business, the right side of the quadrant, you're ready to get that going and build your passive income. Even if you're working as a driver as well, you could be in the S and the B at the same time, and you could be actively earning and passively earning at the same time, and phase out the actively earning when your passive earning is sufficient that you no longer need to drive. Passive income earns when others rides and earn when others drive, the ones that you have recruited. So the rider passive model, you is on the left. If you find 10 riders and each customer gets 5 riders, you end up with 250 riders. 250 riders. So if you check this out, you get a commission in the end on that. So let's take a look at the next slide. The driver passive model. So if you're in the B quadrant and you've decided to go in overdrive, on the fares of your drivers, you still get a drive share commission here, which is 3%. So annually, that could top you up again a little bit. So to compare, other rideshare companies, they're paying you, as their carrot to get you in, they may offer to pay your startup expenses. Your earnings are definitely capped at 70 to 75%, and 25 to 30% goes to shareholders. Absolutely zero will ever come back to you. Nothing. If you are a D3, an overdrive, you're on the business quadrant, you've left the left side, you've gone to the right side of the money curve, you own your customers that you have found for life. So if you introduce them to Vibe today, they've done a ride, they are your customer for life. So every ride they take after that, you earn on that. Same for the drivers. You are building a fleet essentially. So you own your fleet for life. As long as they're driving, you are earning. On the business side, there's always tax benefits to owning a business. So here as an example, it could be 57 cents on the mile. That is, depending on where you live, you'll need to check out where you are driving. So 70 to 75% you earn for driving if you are driving. If they're not driving, then that will go to the driver. 12% goes to the drive share of the company, which was on the previous slide. If you had so many drivers earning $50,000 a year, you earned 3% of that, and that ended up being $15,000 a year. So that comes from that 12%. So that's kind of like your little bonus. The 18% does go to the company, and that is to keep the company healthy, to support all the riders and the drivers and the technical support and the app. That all comes at an expense, which is less than 20%. The company's running on less than 20%. It's pretty amazing. You know it's a tight run ship that way. So at this point, get started now. If you think this is for you, then it's time for you to receive your boomerang, and I can get that for you. So as a recap here, the business registration is $49.95. The $200 overdrive pack comes with a $99.95 per month subscription. So what happens if you're paying for the $200? You do get one background check, you get one vehicle inspection. Those get reimbursed to you. So those two alone might already be close to $200 depending on where you live. So the cost is really almost being reimbursed. Then you can start driving and recruiting riders and drivers. To do that, you will need boomerangs to give away. So these boomerangs, you get 100 of them, which they're $1 each normally to purchase, but you get 100 for free. So you're really only spending 100. So you think about which 100 people you think are going to be the best riders and which ones are going to be the best drivers. You're going to need both, but you're going to earn the most on finding drivers. Create and build your fleet and start earning passively even while you're driving. Even while you're driving, you can recruit other drivers. There might be people that are just, you get picking them up at the airport and you're driving them somewhere and they have a vehicle and they're in a city where Vibe is available. They may want to drive as a sideline. You just never know. People's money struggles are real. They're across the board. They might be traveling for work, but they might be struggling financially at home. So choose your vibe. I'm Susanna DeBeer and I can give you a boomerang. Let me know if you'd like one and I will send that to you so you can get started and start driving and earning your active income and passive income if you choose to jump to the right side of the quadrant. And as promised, here's the disclaimer that I said I would leave up so you could take your time to read all about it. Have a wonderful day, and I wish you all the best success in your financial and time freedom, which is where it's all about, so we can live the life we are dreaming of.